When I was 14, I was so clueless. I was a bookworm who still believed in fairy tale happy endings, in spite of seeing my parents' marriage disintegrating slowly in front of me. Boys were still aliens from another planet, since I only had sisters, and no way to prove otherwise. Oh, and sisters were little fiends who wore your clothes to school and hid your diary, for later reading and taunting. But if I could, through some miracle or a secret wormhole, go back in time and give my 14-year-old self some advice, this is what I'd like to say to her. Speak your mind more often. Don't be mean about it, but it's okay to just tell others what you think and feel. They won't be nearly as upset or surprised as you think. In fact, they just might admire you for it, or make you president of something. Stay just the way you are. Don't try to change for anyone else. It's okay to be a late bloomer, to keep your nose in books, to spend hours walking through the woods by yourself. Keep believing in rainbows and happy endings. Keep telling other people everything will be okay. Because it really will. I'd hug her and say, "You are wonderful just the way you are, and don't ever let anyone tell you differently." Some things you learn later, after you've been through a few fiery trials or survived your diary being read and quoted back to you. But those lessons, plus a grateful heart, can make you a better person if you let them. The day after I graduated from high school, I moved in with my aunt and uncle in a nearby college town. A week later, I had my first job in Durant, Oklahoma, at a place known as Watson Burger. No, it wasn't Whataburger, although we did get asked that. A lot. I grew up in a very rural area, so moving to the big town of Durant was such an exciting time for me. My own job, my own money. I didn't have a plan, but the summer stretched out before me with endless possibilities. Watson Burger was a family-owned business out of Denison, Texas. I was aware that there were a few more stores, including the Crow's Nest and Kim's Fried Chicken. But in Durant, they just owned the Watson Burger. Today, that area is full of fast food restaurants and located just before you get to the Walmart on Highway 70. Back then, there was hardly anything on Radio Road. Our crew was mostly high school kids. Even Lewis, the store manager, was under 30. Because I was new and energetic, I was scheduled to close most nights. Closing started at about 10 p.m., with cleaning out the shake machine, and finished up about 1 a.m., when the grill had been bricked. There's nothing else like earning your own pay and learning how to schedule your time so that you show up for work when you're supposed to. For a country girl, it was eye-opening, educational, fun, and nerve-wracking at the same time. I've always thought that working in a hamburger joint is the best first experience a young person can have. You're learning how to be quick on your feet, to think ahead, and to pay attention to what others want. Not just listening to customers, but also to a supervisor. It's amazing how you pay attention to a boss with the respect and seriousness you might not always have given a parent. Definitely a great experience. Call me a loner. I'm used to it. They've accused me of isolating myself. They've called me a loner and a hermit. But the truth is, I love spending time by myself. I grew up the oldest of 5 children. The houses we lived in were always small, and children had to share bedrooms and beds, because that's just the way it has to be when you're in a big family. And the noise level. Don't even get me started about all the noise 4 younger siblings can make when they're playing, or worse, fighting. Just give me a good book, while I, on the other hand, was the only one who enjoyed quiet activities like reading, which is practically impossible to enjoy with screaming kids running around. It's really no wonder, then, that I took every available opportunity to pack up my book and head for the woods. Spending hours sitting in a cozy spot by the creek or low tree branch or under a nearby country bridge was something I did often. You know, to escape the chaos back in the house. To this day, I feel the need for lots of quiet, alone time. Yes, I have a part-time job. And just that little bit of social time spent helping others find a book or listening to problems can overwhelm my limited reserve of whatever compassion, empathy, and other qualities are needed for social interaction. Silence really is golden. But how can I describe fully my joy at the end of the day when I calmly and quietly walk in the house with just the hum of the air conditioner, when I settle down on the soft recliner, put my feet up, and open my book to get lost once again in a great story. Knowing that I don't have to hear another voice for hours unless I want to, it's pure bliss.